It's one of the most versatile ingredients in the kitchen, potatoes. So there's so many different types that can transform your dishes, but understand which potatoes to use is really key. So this morning I am joined by Savannah Nordstrom, Director of Farm Operations with Bonton Farms. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Paige.
First of all, you know I'm such a fan of Bonton Farms. Wonderful organization helping so many people. But we're going to be talking also about potatoes. That's going to be our emphasis. So there are so many different types of varieties, and they're always kind of very, very popular. People love them for every dish. Why is this a good time a year to try different types of potatoes that are out there?
So potatoes are going to be one of the most available crops right now as we're getting into winter. We're harvesting them, but a lot of those summer crops are done, but potatoes are abundant.
Okay, so this is the time to get them. And as you said, lots of varieties. You have brought a few of these different types of categories of potatoes this morning. Let's start with the starchy potatoes. Tell me about those and what makes them such an appealing option.
Starchy potatoes are going to be your classic potato. If you think of a potato, you're probably thinking of one of these. It's a russet potato usually, or Idaho, and they're easy to store. They're the most common variety.
So what makes them such a good choice when it comes to potatoes?
These are going to be perfect for French fries or mashed potatoes. The starchiness makes them nice and fluffy.
All right, I love that fact. I mean, this is the one that we're most familiar with for sure. But then as we move on, I'm curious about these potatoes.
Yeah, this is the waxy potato category. Those are fingerling potatoes, new potatoes. Those are going to be a little bit smaller and firmer than the russets.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about these potatoes because these happen to be a popular favorite in ours. What we do is we just roast them, put olive oil on them, a little salt and pepper, pop them in the oven. They are so delicious. I've actually just had them as a meal in of themselves.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to try them because they're a little bit sweeter than your classic potato. So they have a little natural sweetness to them, fun colors, and they hold up their shape better so you can use them in different dishes like scalloped potatoes and those types of dishes.
All right, well, let's move on to these potatoes. Tell me about these.
So these are going to be your all-purpose potatoes. That's going to be your Yukon Golds. Those are going to have a kind of an in-between texture between the starchy potato and the waxy potato. So you can use them for basically anything. You could do a French fry if they're a little larger, or you could want to put them into a stew or a soup.
All right, I have to say that the star of the potato family these days has to be the sweet potato. I mean, isn't it like a superfood now?
Yeah, sweet potatoes are making a comeback.
Yeah, they're huge. I mean, you've got them, of course, Thanksgiving. They're on most Thanksgiving tables. Then also you see sweet potato fries. You see sweet potatoes in all types of different varieties now. What makes the sweet potato such a sweet option for the table?
They're actually in a completely different family than all of the other potatoes. They are their own family over here. The sweet potatoes are a good source of vitamin A, and they're also considered a starchy potato, so that's why you can find them as a good replacement for the baked potatoes, the French fries, or even mashed potatoes.
And they're better for you, isn't that right?
Yeah, they have more vitamins and nutrients than you would get in your typical potato, so they're a great alternative.
All right, so do you think that Texas is a good place when it comes to the soil in Texas to raise potatoes? When you think of potatoes, you think of Idaho, of course. But is Texas a great place for people to raise potatoes even in their own home gardens?
It's definitely an option. It's going to be easier to aim for those smaller varieties like the fingerlings or the new potatoes. You're going to find the most success there because you don't have to worry so much about them getting big or having pests eat them before they are the size you want.
All right, so when is the best time to plant the potatoes and to harvest the potatoes?
So you're going to harvest potatoes now before it starts to really freeze, and then you can plant some more in February or March when it starts to thaw out a bit.
All right, well, as I mentioned at the top of this interview, Bonton Farms does so many things for so many people. You've got a fantastic farm. You also have places for people who are dealing with housing challenges and needing to find a permanent home. Bonton Farms has been a resource for so many years. Where can people find more information?
Thank you. Yes, Giving Tuesday is tomorrow, and you can find out more about us at bontonfarms.org.
Thank you so much for joining us, Savannah. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Paige.